everybody, this is it, the final video in my ranking of the Marvel or X-Men United Heroes. This is the top 10. Again, if you're catching up or you're just watching this video, I'm not saying these are the best 10. I'm saying these are my favorite 10 characters to play with. I have a lot of fun with them, so here we go. Number 10 is Mirage. Wow, so Danny in the comics is not particularly a character that I've ever been, I don't know a whole lot about her. She lost her powers during the No More Mutants era. Anyway, but in this game, she's amazing. All right, so lots of icons across the board. She looks good here. She has, I mean, not great movement. There's some pretty poor movement, but everything else is fine. But it's her specials. The Neural Arrow. You can use your attack actions in adjacent locations. Fantastic, and you have 2 of them. Here, relocate people. Hey, I want to rescue some citizens. You know what? I'll stick them in my same spot and then free them. And then resist death. Anyone in your location can't be hit until the next turn. And there are also wilds at the bottom of these. This is great. This is fun and fantastic. I like Mirage a lot. And yet there's still 9 more. In the top 10, we have 2 people from the core set. So first we have Storm, who I like better than Storm Mohawk. But Storm has a lot of great icons. Again, a nice spread. Good, great movement. Okay, rescuing people. Heroic. And decent fighting. But it's her powers. This 2 fighting in any location, that's insanely good. And then relocate any heroes to different locations. That's also amazing. You can move people around the board. When I first played her, I was like, oh my word, power creep in the X-Men. But it's not power creep, it's just Storm. She is fantastic, and I'll be glad to put her on a team anytime. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Professor X is here. Really like his miniature here where he's riding in a wheelchair. That's a neat thing. But man, are you kidding? How good is Professor X? The last person here from the core set. So his movement, which surprisingly is not that fantastic. I guess not surprisingly. His heroic, though, is amazing. And his attacking, I guess I should say his movement is better than I would assume it to be. But he has 6 special cards. These 2 let you give tokens to another hero. 2 of them. And this one, you can treat symbols as wilds, and you have one of those on the bottom of the card. That's fantastic. Telepathy here, you can swap any number of cards from your hand with their cards in the storyline. So if you're playing with Professor X, throw your best stuff out because he's going to let you get it back. And then turn thugs into civilians. That's kind of cute. It's neat. And sometimes you don't want that to happen, but in some scenarios, and there's some villains out there that throw a lot of thugs at you, he's really powerful. And then 2 icons, 2 icons, 2 icons, 2 icons. I mean, are we kidding? This is Professor X. I really like it. Okay, I'll admit it. I am attracted to sheer power, and that is what Phoenix has. Now, if you've been watching through this list, you'll see I can't stand blank bottoms of the cards. But the fact is, Phoenix Uncanny Power, which is in your starting hand, says that when it's in the storyline, heroes can ignore and skip her cards. Oh my word. They must ignore them. Okay, so that means they're not going to get these wilds that she gives. Fine, but they're still working together, and she is throwing wilds out. And she can give a wild token to the pool. She can delay the villain. She can give it, here's another token to a character. But look at this, 5 wilds. Then you discard all cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so you're killing yourself. But are you kidding me? This is absolutely cool. I didn't put her as number 1 because yes, this card can get, the Uncanny Power can be turned over. And then these bottoms, and then she's almost a liability, right? It's not so fantastic at that point in time. But up to that point, oh my word, she's amazing. Real quick, before I get into Firestorm, I should mention I really like the Phoenix model too. And then the Firestorm model here, she's my next character, this. Now Firestorm's an interesting one. It might surprise you that she's so high up. It surprised me, actually. I don't know what it is. There's nothing really spectacular about her, but I think she's really solid. For a character who's not necessarily speedy, she has some really good movement compared to most of the game. And her attacking and heroics aren't bad because she has a lot of symbols. These move and do 2 heroics. They're just really useful First card of the game, if I get one of those, I'm playing it because I'm going to move and throw that down. I give the move to the next person, and we already have a chance to finish off an event usually. And then move and do 2 damage against a single target in your location. I don't know. And I mean, coupled, I like the model and everything too. So I also like the fact that her special cards are different color. I don't know why that's a thing. But yeah, I like her. She just somehow shot all the way up here to number 6. All right, Sunspot here, hitting number 5. Sunspot also has some amazing movement, some of the best movement in the game. He has movement on he does have movement on every card. He's always moving. Actually, I really like Sunspot in the comics too. And then other than that, you're like, he doesn't have a lot. You're right. He has 1 and 2. 2 fighting and 1 heroic. It's his special abilities. He has 6 special abilities. Getting a wild token, and he can turn action tokens that he has into wilds. And he has 3 of those cards. At the end of his turn, he gets a movement or a heroic or action token for each different location you occupied this turn. So if you can find a way to get him to move, well, you're going to move him twice. He's going to move, he gets 2 tokens. I don't know, I like that combo. He's not particularly powerful, I don't think. But he's fun to use. And you get to do different things with him, and I really enjoy it. And he always gives your teammates move. I will say he's not necessarily, when you play with him, you better play with some people who have a lot of icons at the bottom of their cards. But despite all that, I find using these specials to be a lot of fun. Now, interestingly enough, Deadpool is at the very bottom of my list. He's number 80, and yet Lady Deadpool here is number 4. And you know why? Because she's Deadpool without the chaos. All her cards have special abilities. Rescue someone at your location. Do 3 against a single target. Any special effects in the next Master Plan card have no effect on her. As long as this card's face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards, draw a card. Gain wild token. On your next turn, you play your card randomly. Who cares? They're all amazing. Move to any location with civilians. Rescue civilian. Defeat all the thugs there. Are you kidding me? These are all amazing. They're all amazing. She's a fantastic character, and so you get to play with the coolness of Deadpool, but without the stupidity. She's not perfect. The bottom of all her cards are single icons, so she's not really helping the next person out tremendously. But she's going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting herself, so it's hard to say that I'm not going to really want to use her on a team. So I don't think I would still buy the Deadpool set just to get her, since I don't like the Deadpool villain, and the Bob villain's okay, and Bob hero and the Deadpool hero are way down on this list. But maybe you could trade someone else for it and say, you don't want Lady Deadpool, right? I'll give you Gwenpool for her. Maybe that would work. I don't know. I suspect this character is going to be a lot of people's favorites. I mean, first of all, Nightcrawler, and man, I particularly like this model a lot with the BAMF. And just a cool thing. But the thing about Nightcrawler is that when I first got him, I was like, oh man, you must move to another location. You must. He has mostly single icons. Here's a couple doubles, but the rest are single. You must move, but you can bring other people with you on 4 of those. And then I figured out, hey, you must move. Who cares? You probably want to move anyway. You can move all over the place. You want to hit that bad guy in the last turn who's running around and you seem like, oh, we can't get to him. Nightcrawler can get to him. The person before Nightcrawler sets him up with a double attack, and you know for sure that Nightcrawler can get there. He can, because he can get to anywhere on the board every single time. The best in the game. Amazing movement. And he's going to jump, punch, 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 or save, 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 save. Fantastic. He has no move icons. And unless you're worrying about the person who's coming after you, it doesn't matter. I love it. But there's still a couple more. Number 2 is Magic. Okay, so Magic, her stats are not, I mean, she has really good attack stats. We'll come back to that. And her move stats are pretty solid. Heroic, not so much, but that's her. But she has these move to any location. That's why I gave her a higher move. She can go anywhere with these 2 cards and then punch. Amazing. Just like Nightcrawler, but it's only on 2 of her cards. But then she has the Soul Sword, which does 2 attack and does an extra damage to any villain, henchman, or thug you do any damage to this turn. So you know that guy who turns thugs into double damage? She takes out 2 of them. The villain, she's doing 3 damage to him. Plus, it's just that it's 2 icons for the next character. And then the Mystical Armor, which is her starting card, basically, she can, if this card's face up, if you have any crisis tokens, you can get rid of one. And again, crisis tokens are a pain in the neck. So magic is absolutely fantastic. But she's not number one. Who could it be? I feel a little dirty here in the villain being my number one hero. But Dr. Doom, it is him. So, oh my word. Okay, so first of all, his stats are nothing to go home about. Doesn't have a lot of movement. 1 heroic, big deal, and 4 attack. But look at all those wilds. But it's not those wilds. Is it possibly Pain is for lesser men, the card he starts with? So each damage that he takes, he gets a token? No, that's good. It's this minus the power. This is insane. You can use the symbols on the bottom of the 3 previous cards in the storyline instead of only the previous one. Then you turn them face down. So you go here, and I'll be like, I would like to use these 3 cards. Bam, 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 bam. Or here. Bam, 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 bam. And then you turn them face down. Now, this could be problematic, and I do grant that you might be playing with some characters. You don't want to use this too early in the game because you might turn down their starting abilities. You don't want to do that. And you might not want to turn something that needs to be face up. But don't put Dr. Doom on those teams in. Just give him some people with great stats, and you are going to wreck shop with Dr. Doom. He thinks he's the best? It's because in this game, in my opinion, he is. So in my top 10, you can see that we have a couple people from the core set, 1 from Fantastic Four, 1 from Deadpool, and the rest from the stretch goals. So, these are my favorite characters. I'm sure you have favorite characters. Here's your chance to shout it out. What did I do wrong? Do you think Dr. Doom shouldn't even be in the top 10? You think Lady Deadpool's overrated? You think Phoenix should be all the way up at number 1? Or you don't like her? Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear what your favorite characters are. But as for now, I'm done. I've been doing a companion series here of the best of the villains of the X-Men United, and I've also been reviewing all the different expansion sets, so I hope you give those a whirl. But as for now, I'm pretty much done talking about X-Men United for a while. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Oh, you're still here.